you back?
Yeah, first time with the iPads on the sideline. Those guys came in yesterday, got everything set up for us, and kind of a dry run today. I think it went well. You know, we took 2 scrimmages are different, right? Because every position coach, at any point during the scrimmage, you're going to have your unit on the field, offense or defense. So, and substitutions and all that. So we actually had to call coaching breaks to then get the whole offense, the whole defense over there and kind of have the coordinators and assistant coaches go through that. So we had 2 of those, kind of disrupted the flow a little bit, to be honest with you. But that's okay. Cam Fancher was limited reps, just camp arm, but he got like 20-something reps, you know, led the offense to a touchdown, I believe. So, but I thought the shuffling in and out, as you said, kind of the drive around of game day went fairly well, and the things that didn't, I'm confident will go well then, you know, Friday in East Lansing.
Coach, a little bit more than usual pre-snap penalties. Do you think that kind of just led to just a lack of sustained?
Yeah. The big thing offensively right now, and I think I've told you, you know, that we're practicing against a really good defense, and rhythm has been difficult. We've made some plays. We've even had, you know, chunks of 4, 5, 6 plays, but we haven't had many rhythmic, you know, sustained drives against our defense, and that hasn't been a, you know, pre-snap penalties really, it hasn't been a glaring issue, but when you're playing against this defense, and we're still in the stages that we are offensively, yeah, I mean, it's a huge, I wrote it down. I mean, I was on our coaches in the offense, you know, when we took breaks and whatnot, like, we're not good enough to beat ourselves and expect to then have to beat ourselves and an opponent. And very few teams are, and we're certainly not in there. So it was disappointing, sure, but hopefully it's good to have those problems now and not 13 days from now. So whatever the issue was, I'm sure we've got plenty of time to correct it.
How did you like the offense's ability to kind of find different ways to attack, whether it was the option or the screen passes when the defense was limiting the downfield stuff?
Yeah, I thought Coach Fry did a good job mixing up kind of, you know, some with motion, some not motion, some tempo, not tempo, some unbalanced, not unbalanced, some deep shots, some screens, you know. So I think when you're proficient enough at multiple things, your offense certainly has the ability to present different issues for the defense. And so I think we're always going to want to be able to, like, hang our hat on something, you know, and this is who we are. These 5 runs and these 4 passes, this is who we are. And then you master those, and then as you grow, you can start putting a little eye candy, if you will, with it, some motion, some shifts, all that stuff. But so I do think that's a positive. I do think we're getting to the point where we've got this core nucleus of plays that we believe in, that we rep over and over and over again, and now you've seen it kind of grow a little bit to become hopefully more challenging for defenses.
We didn't see a ton of the one. We saw a lot of the 3s from after the first 6 or 7 drives. A lot of those guys probably won't get a lot of live reps from now on. Was this an opportunity to say, you know, this is why I should be on the plane?
Yeah, that was the biggest goal today. Not that, but the biggest goal today was to find number 30 through 70 of the travel roster. We feel pretty good through whatever 18, 17 practice. 16. Okay, through 16 practices. Feel pretty good about, you know, our starting whatever 25, 30 guys, right? And so now this was a huge scrimmage for the 30 through 85th guy, because we're only going to travel 70 to East Lansing. And so, not that it wasn't important for those first few guys, because we're certainly not ready to take those 30 guys to East Lansing and win a ball game right now either. So those guys still had a lot of work to do, but they've been getting the banging in quite a bit throughout the week of practice. And like you said, the opportunities for some of these other guys are going to be dwindled, knowing that Monday we're going to come, scout teams and very, the team, FAU versus FAU is going to be extremely limited from this point forward. And so we made a big deal about today's scrimmage, especially for those guys, because it needs to feel that way.
Coach, every position group you've had to meld on offense with so many new faces. Is there one that stands out to you most that over the last 16 practices you've said, boy, this thing's starting to gel a little bit. I feel good about the trajectory here.
Tailback. Yeah, that's we've got two really good veterans in Zoo and CJ, and we've got two really good young guys in Jamari and Xavier. And we've found a new walk-on in Tremonte Underwood. There you go. That's how new he is. But I do know he's number 33. His first name's Tremonte. So, but he'll factor into that travel squad too. So to be able to say that we have 5 tailbacks that we feel good about going in the game, I don't. We're not 5 deep anywhere on the roster, but for a position to have that kind of depth, and granted we only play one at a time too. So, but I'm excited that we can play both of them, as you saw with our tight end. Zeke was banged up, shoulder. He'll be back Monday, and Wyatt was limited, because he's had a really good camp. Anyways, so yeah, tailback has been the one that stood out, just from the depth and quality of depth that we have there.
Coach, I asked this question before, and I'll ask it a little bit differently this time. I know you're kind of hesitant to commit to saying that the team is better or more advanced or performing at a higher level, but contrasting the second scrimmage last year, where you are today. Is that a fair?
I'm glad you asked, because I went home last Saturday and it was a weird feeling. I was never satisfied, never content, I guess. Like, that scrimmage was what I thought it should look like. I've never had that. I've always really kind of nitpicked, but I had to wake myself up a little bit too and say we're better than last year. But last year's not the standard.
Right.
The standards in New Orleans and in San Antonio and in Memphis, that's the standard. And are we there yet? I don't know. So are we better than last year? For sure. But I woke up the next day after kind of having that epiphany, if you will, and mentioned it to the staff. Like, I want to make sure we're all guarding against that yes, we're better than last year. Last year, I look back and I see this team, and for the brief moments that I even let myself think about last year, to be in 6 one-score games with that team now, comparing and contrasting what we have here, Rock and Charlie should have got coaches of the year, so it feels a lot better. I know that, and not just the level of play, just the quality of guys that were around each and every day, and their commitment to each other and the team. It's been a joy. 50 new guys, and half the team didn't play football for us last year. So I don't know if, it's late night at the club, and this is, the best option, or if this is really something special. I got a feeling that it's something special, and I'm really, really happy with where we're at. The proof will be in the pudding in 13 days. Yeah.
You spoke about it a few minutes ago with the offense and some of the eye candy that you guys just display. Do you think that some of the stuff, I saw like a cheat motion, I think they call, that you guys kind of implemented?
Yeah.
Do you think some of that stuff derives from Coach Fry's time in the NFL?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he studied the 49ers, I know, extensively this offseason. Him and I have a relationship with Coach Shanahan there. And that's been a nice relationship. But yeah, Coach Fry, and again, this game's different. Our quarterback is different. We're going to ask our quarterback to do different things than what they do in that league. So I don't want to full scale say, you know, we're going to look like the San Francisco 49ers or the Los Angeles Rams, but there are some things that have been a nice wrinkle and addition that we have picked up, you know, through some of those off-season studies.
All 4 of your kickers hit from 50 plus today after bouncing back last week, missing a couple. How do you go about having so much depth at that position and finding, you know, I guess playing time for the kickers?
I don't know. That was the whole reason I did that, was so that somebody would separate themselves, and all the damn dudes did was go out there and make every one of them. So I don't know. That's a hell of a battle. I honestly, I'm glad I don't have to make that decision. So I haven't thought of it yet. So I haven't thought about it a whole lot, but this is going to be an important week for those guys, because there's only one that we're going to jog out in East Lansing, and they're all kind of right there together. You know, they've all done well, and hopefully somebody here in the next few days will separate themselves.
With school starting, and now I believe Monday you guys are at 4 hours, or I guess starting tomorrow, but it's 4 hours. From here on out, what does that do to you and the coaching staff and your approach to now the next 2 weeks leading into East Lansing?
It's full speed, beat Michigan State. We spent whatever it is, 18 days, or more than that, right? No, almost 3 weeks, right? Almost 3 weeks doing this and building the team for the season, and the season's here. So you asked about the coaching staff. Yeah, we only get them 4 hours a day, and we have transitioned this year. Forever, we had been a Monday off. We got to give them 1 day off a week, and we've been Monday off. We bring them in Sunday afternoon, kind of run them, flush everything out of them, get a little bit of work in, and then Monday was the huge game plan day for the coaches, and so on and so forth. But we've transitioned to being a Monday practice. I'm going to give the players Sunday off. So it'll be a good dry run as far as that's concerned for myself and the staff to have a Sunday where we're not going to see the players really voluntarily. I'm sure they'll pop in and out, but that's going to be, tomorrow will be the big heavy game plan for Michigan State Day. Obviously a little bit different than in season because we've worked on them a little bit over the summer, but more about the routine and kind of buttoning up what each day in practice and will look like in a normal game week. And then we're going to approach this week just like the following week, although it'll be a short week because we play Friday. We'll have kind of a mock game, if you will, on Friday. So this week will simulate a Sunday in the season, a Monday in the season, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Only difference is we'll do the mock game Friday, give the players off Saturday because that's really their Sunday, and then we'll actually practice on Sunday.
Right.